Welcome to the John Stone Club. Here, we'll tell you all about the socialist world government that's on its way if you don't get off your butt and do something about it.
To have an Earth Constitution. An Earth Constitution.
In April 2024, Guido Montani published a book on world government. We bought the Kindle version, which was ridiculously expensive. Here are some excerpts and our review. We'll focus on his plan for an Earth Constitution.
Nature is big, reason is small.
Montani starts his book with quotes from a 19th century Italian poet. Basically, nature is the shit, and we have to just throw up our hands and let ecologists dictate every aspect of our lives. It's the Al Gore goddess worship thing come to fruition. That's the upshot.
Anthropocene and cosmopolitan citizenship criticizes the Westphalia system of international relations and, as an alternative, proposes cosmopolitan citizenship, the only way out of the ambiguous meaning of international law and international politics, trapped in the fallacy of national sovereignty at all costs, is a praxis, a strategy that indicates how to reverse the trend of conflict between great powers, the clash of civilizations.
Praxis. Marxists love this word. They think it makes them sound smart. And maybe you'll forget that all they really want is their cock-sucking world revolution.
The United Nations can be viewed as the first step towards a post-Westphalian system, and the European Union represents an alternative model for peaceful relationships among national peoples.
Montani's idea is that the European Union, as an embryonic political superstate, can role model the pattern for a future world federation.
The European Union can play a crucial role in current international politics, helping build a just world in harmony with nature, including by calling for a global Green Deal and an Earth Constitution. The integration of the national peoples of the European Union shows that supranational citizenship is possible. The Ventotene Manifesto, 1941, states that the European Federation will be the first step towards peaceful cooperation among nations, waiting for a distant future when the political unity of the entire world will become possible. A world union of regional supranational unions is conceivable. The goal is a union which ultimately comprises all of the peoples of the world. The sustainable development of the planet is the #1 priority, and it should unite all governments, both democratic and authoritarian.
Swell idea. Let's join a world federation with North Korea.
In this hypothetical cosmopolitan community of the citizens of the world, nation-states would not disappear, but would simply become states, like all other communities of citizens at different levels of government, from towns, cities, regions, to the supranational level, such as the European Union and the African Union. The method of constitutional gradualism proposed by the European federalists in the 1970s is a good fit with the doctrine of global constitutionalism.
But first, they have to corral us unruly world citizens and sear our hides with the brand of Her Royal Highness, Mother Earth. The Earth Goddess will be your new cosmic queen in the sky. She'll wave at us from her limo in parades and shit.
The Earth Constitution is a project that did not just spring up out of nowhere. It has at least 2 important precedents.
Next, Montani reminds us that Mikhail Gorbachev wanted a federal world government back in the 80s. You know, the thing Rush Limbaugh scoffed at, and we weren't supposed to believe, and still aren't. Unless you want world government, then it's all true. Yeah. Gaslighting bastards.
Gorbachev proposed reforming the UN and opening further negotiations in order to address the impending environmental crisis. Gorbachev was aware of the enormous damages caused by the diversion of rivers and the chemical contamination of soil in the USSR. This ecological concern was completely abandoned by the governments of the great powers after the collapse of the USSR, but it resurfaced as a joint initiative of the Club of Rome, thanks to Maurice Strong, Secretary of UNEP, and Mikhail Gorbachev, as president of his foundation, Green Cross International. After lengthy discussions, the Earth Charter was finally approved by UNESCO in 2000. The preface reads, "We must recognize that in the midst of a magnificent diversity of cultures and life forms, we are one human family and one Earth community with a common destiny." The second initiative we can refer to is the report by UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres entitled Gaps in International Environmental Law and Environment-Related Instruments Towards a Global Pact for the Environment, which was approved by the UN General Assembly in 2018.
Basically, in this report, the UN bemoans the lack of a world government and asks people to start getting busy making a world government. Because this is all about making a world government, if you haven't picked up on that yet.
It therefore calls for an international and unifying instrument and enforcement procedures. including an international environmental court. This global pact for the environment could be converted into a real Earth constitution, endowed with an international court tasked with prosecuting ecocide crimes, with the power to enforce its sentences.
Ecocide. Everything we do will be called ecocide. If you eat a hamburger, it's ecocide. But if you eat dehydrated roaches for breakfast, then that's okay. Yum.
This report basically lays the theoretical and practical groundwork for policymakers and jurists to debate. In the drafting of the Earth Constitution, the political aim of the Earth Constitution is the sustainable future of the planet. The operational translation of this aim is a global Green Deal, to create a situation that enables dialogue between the major international powers, a constituent moment. An agreement on a global Green Deal, GGD, must first be reached. The Earth Constitution is the second part of the GGD. The Earth Constitution differs from all existing constitutions, which represent a pact between those ruling and those ruled, translated into legal norms. The Constitution of the Earth is a pact between humanity and nature.
Just who are the governed and governor in this fairy tale? Are we the poor little serf being freed? Or the mean old monarch being cut down to size? First, we're promised human sovereignty and liberation from nationalist tyranny. Then we learn we are Earth's naughty children, being taken to the woodshed for discipline. Montani plays fast and loose.
Just as traditional constitutions, pacts between those who govern and those who are governed have made citizens behave in a more civilized manner. The idea of the Earth Constitution is to make relations between humans and nature more civilized, curbing the predatory behavior that humanity has inherited from past generations.
Oh, nature will be our ruler, I get it. It's all becoming clear now, yes, your majesty. I promise thee I shall not take a long shower, or water my lawn on the morrow. All hail the jolly green eco-goddess, la 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 la. So, the Earth Constitution is a new Magna Carta to dethrone mankind, to set the polar bears free from their evil monarch, Homo sapiens. Yay! Then, we will become political subjects. The Earth will be our sovereign ruler. Or, rather, lawyers, pretending to represent the Earth when they prosecute us for supposed crimes.
International politics would become the domestic politics of the world. The physical force at the service of the world government would be a planetary police force, not an army. With the Earth Constitution, the figure of the world citizen could begin to take shape.
Guido Montani wrote an article in 2022 titled, "The World Federalist Movement's Strategy to Bring About a World Constituent Moment." In other words, a constitutional convention for world government.
My aim is to promote the introduction of a joint UEF-WFM campaign for a global Green Deal. Humanity can become a political subject, and eventually the world will unite thanks to a new, cosmopolitical humanism.
Finally, here's another article in the European Federalists Journal. The World Federalist Movement and the Transition Towards a New World Order. Just a coincidence that it starts on page 109.
109, eh?
No, 109, as in Article 109 of the UN Charter, which calls for a review conference, where they could replace the UN with a true, honest to Lucifer world government. Bet your sweet ass that's on the agenda. But nobody's paying attention. They're just arguing about the shape of the Earth, who the real Jews are, and this imaginary thing called the Khazarian Mafia, and how Putin is the savior of Western civilization, when in reality he'll likely help start World War III. There's gonna be a fucking world government, unless we fucking stop it in its tracks. Thanks for watching. To be continued.
If you don't share this video with 10 friends by breakfast tomorrow, maybe you deserve the communist nightmare that's coming. Hell.
Vice President Gore, on the environment. In your 1992 book, you said, quote, "We must make the rescue of our environment the central organizing principle for civilization, and there must be a wrenching transformation to save the planet." You still feel that way?
I do.
If you don't exploit crisis, what are we federalists for? All right.
Many thanks for your intervention. Let's advance with the crisis. It's a great opportunity to go ahead as activists.